Morning, thank you. I'm just curious, anybody here from United Airlines? I just want to thank United for my wardrobe today. Nothing like losing your luggage on a Sunday night before you speak. So, 5 years ago, I approached our then CIO and said, I think we need an innovation team and an innovation lab, and here's why. And so this is a portion of that story. Apologize for this slide. It is crooked. I just wanted you to kind of all look like this, so you look like you're really intent. We've grown this team of technology innovation to a number of different teams today and a number of different services, and I'm just going to focus on one called Idea Blitzes. But today our mission is to engage the community to solve our biggest problems. And it used to be engage employees, but we've recently taken some steps to broaden that to non-employees. So, at the time, we built this innovation lab. It was very different from Allstate. Large space, open, windows on the hallway, toys and books and games and color and walls, and very, very different space. In fact, you see here the blue chairs. At the time, the head of facilities said, you can't have anything but the standard blue chairs of Allstate. And I said, why? And she said, well, essentially, she said to me, when you fail in a year, we're going to have to redeploy those chairs. Wow. Good confidence. So at the time, what we were designed to do is anyone could actually enter the space and share an idea with us. And we would help them, and you'd see we posted them on the windows, and we had hundreds of ideas on the windows. We'd help them if they needed hardware, software, if they needed to build their story, if they needed to meet the right people, whatever it was. We'd sort of shepherd the idea through. And that was great from an employee engagement standpoint. People felt good about sharing their ideas. But it was also fairly inefficient in terms of us reaching a broad population, right? It was basically the people who could stop by the room. And the other thing was we had a lot of orphaned ideas. We had people with ideas who would just kind of drop them off and not really want to work on them. And we didn't have the capacity to work on all the ideas. And the other challenge was we'd hear no a lot, right? We'd develop an idea. We'd take this cool thing to the business owners. And we'd say, look what we built. And they'd go, hey. We weren't involved in that. We're not interested in that. And so while we had some successes in terms of engaging employees, we wanted to sort of broaden our scope. So at the time, the wisdom of crowds and group genius was kind of taking hold and crowdsourcing. And so we decided to take advantage of crowdsourcing, and we took this conversation online. So we created a service we call Blitzes. We adopted a tool from a company called Spigot, and the tool internally is called the Innovation Engine. And so what we do, this is a view of the Innovation Engine. Blitzes are 10-day-long events where we partner with a business partner, it may be marketing, claims, technology, sales, whoever it may be, to solve a specific problem that they're having. So we work with them to develop a challenge statement. We decide on the audience. Early going, we'd open it up to a couple thousand people. Typically today, we open it up to the enterprise. And it's a URL. You can access this online. And you go and you read the challenge statement. You read a little information about the challenge. And you can post an idea. You can thumbs up, thumbs down an idea. You can comment on ideas. You can rate ideas. And so through the beauty of crowdsourcing, better ideas bubble to the top. They get more thumbs up. They get more comments. And the ideas that don't get a lot of traction with the community just kind of fall out of the tool. So we do probably 2 to 3 of these a month, blitzes. We have over 1.5 million page views. We have probably 6,000 ideas in the tool today. And what we do is, we work with those business partners to then take those top ideas forward. So our first blitz a couple of years ago was around our mobile application. And I'm sure all of you who are Allstate customers have our mobile application and use it all the time. But our challenge statement was, help us define our functions and features of our mobile app. At the time, we opened it up to 5,000 people, 10 days. We got 200 ideas, 19 of which moved onto the mobile roadmap. So the interesting part of that story is one of those ideas that moved to the roadmap came from a trial attorney in our Buffalo, New York office. Now, I guarantee you that guy's boss never said, hey, got any mobile ideas? Right? But because he was invited to participate in this event, he was able to share a great idea with us. So some lessons we've learned over the years. It's hard, right? This is hard. Innovation is hard. And if you're going to work on an innovation team, you better have a thick skin, because you're going to hear no a lot. So, and I'll go so far as to say innovation can cause mayhem, right? I had to work that image in somehow. I'd say the biggest challenge is executive alignment and support. Without that, it's a real challenge to get employees to participate in this, right? They see something that they've got to take some extra time, think about, participate in, and without that support, they're not sure if they should spend their time in it. And I'll give you a quick story. Our number 2 guy at Allstate, president of one of our divisions, the first blitz that his area ran, he went down into the cafeteria and he would grab people, literally grab people and say, have you put an idea in the blitz? Have you put an idea in the blitz? Now think about what a powerful message that's sending to employees that's validating the time that they spend in the tool. Really great stuff. The other lesson is get business alignment early. Get a partner who is committed to taking the idea forward, who has the capability, the funding, the resources to move an idea forward. And without that, it's a challenge. And again, as I said earlier, we found that. We found that we take ideas to the business partner and they say, whoa, we're not interested. Right? Now we get them aligned at the very beginning of the process. It helps things move forward. So we've changed significantly over the years. 5 years we've been doing this. I think we've had a lot of success, not only from the employee engagement standpoint, but from creating real value. So this is one example from an employee standpoint. This is a guy named Robert Fogarty started dearworld.me, and it's a way for people to express themselves through photography and images on your body. So we invited Robert to an innovation event we had at Allstate, and we invited people to come, employees to come and do this, participate in this event. And I'm telling you, 5 years ago, people wouldn't have done this. They wouldn't have felt comfortable doing this. But now, because of the changes we've made and the focus we've had on engaging employees, we had a line around the campus. We had hundreds and hundreds of people participate in this event. And, other successes, we're moving a number of things through the pipeline in terms of new products and services. So Claims has been one of our most successful partners. They, at the beginning, were really reluctant to use the Blitz process. They said, we've got thousands and thousands of people on the phones every day. We monitor every moment of their time. They can't be spending time ideating. We convinced them to do it, and they are by far one of our most successful customers. They had one idea that got upwards of 500 upvotes and hundreds of comments that built on it and made the idea better. And so they implemented that idea, and they're estimating $18 million in savings and productivity. So that's a great success for us. And they've found so much success in the Blitz process that they've actually branded their own version of the Blitz so that their employees know it's a claims Blitz. It's called the Gold Mine. And they do regular quarterly blitzes. And we've seen participation go through the roof every quarter. So it's been really successful for them. So I'm going to stop there. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to open it up to those guys over there.
Well, why don't we start in the middle with Jerry? Mix it up a little bit.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, I have a question. You mentioned using the tools for problem solving. What about problem recognition or recognition of new business opportunities? Have you applied it from that perspective?
So it just depends on how broadly we define the challenge, right? So we had one where we said, hey, it's 2021. What does Allstate look like, right? So it wasn't a specific problem we're having. We're just saying, hey, the world's going to change, right? We saw the Google autonomous vehicle. That's coming. The car's going to drive itself. What's that going to do to the P&C industry? And so we think about it in terms of that. Now, what I will tell you is we don't have an open suggestion box. So it is about specific problems. It's not about everything, right? Because I can't address, hey, I want a microwave in the break room or whatever, right? And we don't have the resources to address all those problems. And the thing that we've found is people take a great deal of ownership of their ideas, right? And so if we don't do something with it, they don't participate. So they have to get some kind of feedback. And so if we do a blitz with marketing, for example, we will ask the core team who's working with us, to respond to those ideas. Hey, that's a great idea, but we tried it a couple years ago and this is why it didn't work. Or we're not moving that forward for whatever reason.
Mike?
You mentioned it's essential for executive alignment and support. How would you do this and accomplish the same result if you didn't have executive alignment and support?
I don't think I could. I don't think I could. So people would feel uncomfortable participating, right? They wouldn't take the time to participate. We actually had a different sort of event where it required people to spend a little more time working on it, and people took the day off. And the first one we did because they weren't sure that their managers were going to allow them to spend this time. And we've changed that since then, but again, it's that support. They need to see that executive and leadership support to spend time doing it.
Seth?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, Matt, just what are the forms of that executive support? You mentioned the one interaction in the break room. What kind of messages do you see the executive team sending out that enables this success?
I think it's both. So come out and visibly support it. Either say something to your teams, let it trickle down through the process. We had our CEO, Tom Wilson, actually participate in one of the events. So it's either at meetings, it's verbally, or it's in the tool. Come out to the tool and comment on somebody's idea. Hey, John, I think that's a great idea. Can you tell me more about it, right? And people feel really good about that.
Do you have a reward system or some way that someone who participates and something comes of it, that they can participate?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the first blitz we did, so the tool has a store in it, and you can, your usage of the tool, you earn points. We had some people gaming the system. So inevitably, right? We had people who won 3 Xboxes, and we said, thanks for your participation. We're going to give you 1, and here's why. I don't think people require rewards. I think people are competitive by nature, and so I think what we take advantage of is sort of leaderboards. They want to see their name up at the top of the leaderboard. They want to see their score, but they don't necessarily need to see something in return.
We have time for a couple of questions from the audience. We have one up here. Lori's going to. Did you calculate the premiums you would be charging Google for the autonomous car, by the way?
Not yet. I want to comment on something somebody said earlier, though, real quick before we get to the question. Somebody said something about high schoolers, right, having the knowledge already. We're having a modified blitz next month where we're inviting 8 to 18-year-olds, right? They don't have those preconceptions about our culture that restrict their creativity, and so we're going to see what we can get out of young kids.
You know, you briefly spoke about rewards, but can you talk about how a great idea gets funded and gets through the process in your company, and do you have an example you could share with us?
Yeah, it's hands down our biggest challenge, right? People come up with great ideas. The business sponsor says they have the capability to move them forward. They take them back and it prioritizes and it comes down here and it doesn't happen, right? And so we've put some things in place to alleviate that. We have an innovation council that is a separately funded group now that reviews those ideas that require some additional funding or resources, right? And they move those ideas through. It's a very difficult thing to do. We also just started about a year ago an R&D team. So the R&D team creates lightweight prototypes that we can test to get to a go, no-go decision. So we move some things through the process quicker.
Any last questions out there? Great. Okay, Matt, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Fritz.